there's already awareness that every being, no matter what they came out looking like, whether they're beautiful and glorious, whether they were super rich or poor, are all processing the experience according to the degree of their energetic potential. And if you prematurely put yourself into a space of high energy, it can be rather uncomfortable. And anyone who's taken too many mushrooms or something like that know about that. So it's the same thing with anyone who's flooded themselves with, even if it's what we perceive as false currency, money, it's extremely a lot of wear and tear on that person. It's like looking at the president after that 4 years. It's like, damn. looking at some actor or star, or mainly the rappers, the singers, after a few years of clubs all night and early deaths, these kind of things, because it's a lot of wear and tear. So, we learn now, and that's how I said the benefit of all this now about quantum fields and learning about trinary systems, getting out of judgment, is you can actually start playing around with time. You can literally, through wisdom, let's say 10 years worth of damage, rid yourself of it in a year. You see what I mean? Because that's what wisdom is. Wisdom is the quantum field that allows us to move through time. Wisdom escape death. You see, like, there's actually real stories about this. I would love a time to sit down, like, maybe when I get 60, but about how wisdom escaped death, but how everyone encountered the Reaper, which was the vacuum in space. That's what, let's say, the fields of Saturn have vacuums. So that's known as the Grim Reaper of time, because those vacuums basically control the field that we call time. And this is the hexagon 6. So 6 times 2 is 12, right? So that's 12 days. 12 times 2 is 24. This is the system of time. So that system of time, which was known as Saturn, the Grim Reaper, could only be overcome by wisdom. And that's why that's like the other side of time. So on one side, Saturn is seen as this wise old man. And then on the other side is seen as this vacuum reaper, basically a death angel. And this is because, that's, in the metaphors of Solomon, they cancel out each other. And see, the whole damn thing, if we spend our time learning that, we would see what was the antithesis. Basically, how do you cancel time? You get rid of time through wisdom. How do you get rid of this? Or you get rid of this through that. And that's honestly like some of those old Oriental books. It's like one page and it's only filled with that. You get rid of this with that. And because sometimes people try to take it philosophically, because it's such rich knowledge, it's like a seed germ. It could mean a lot of different things, but if you could get it for its essence of what it means, then you realize, okay, yeah, only wisdom will overcome death. And wisdom is achieved through experience, not through knowledge. Knowledge is gathering the information. Wisdom is the beginning of the application. The experience is when it's in play, what goes on. And then you can now wisdom also, a big part of wisdom is learning from other things. See, a lot of people think that experience is even the valuation of things. You see what I mean? Like when we connect to things, we have entirely different ways to connect. We can cry because another person's crying. So you're going through the experience right there. So sometimes people view experience as, okay, that means I need to climb that mountain. That means I need to go. We can empathically go through an experience if we make ourselves available for that. And that's the time machine. That's the quantum field. And so you could have a billion people saying that it's not possible, but that doesn't mean that that's the truth. And this is the world that I live in, is that there is nothing that's not possible here. It's just an equation. There's other things, like this is how you don't give up on yourself. Like somebody with a terminal illness that has found a cure. They know it's out there. It may not be published. It may not be on the internet. Damn, maybe nobody even found it, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to find it. And so that's that determination. And that's what we're hoping to instill. And I say hoping, it's because that's a gift that others need to accept, right? Like that's the acceptance. That's why I say, hey, you got to accept yourself. That's forgiveness. The only thing to be forgiven is self. We actually believe that there's a recording of everything that we've done. And we feel ashamed about things in that recording, things that we didn't handle the right way, things that happened to us where we were vulnerable. All those things we feel insecure about, and we haven't forgiven ourselves. So what happens is that now we have this opportunity to realize that actually everybody's got some of that. It's actually like our comic box. So since everyone has it, you could put it away because there's a future version of you. And the only thing that's separating you from that is exactly that you haven't forgiven yourself. So then when you forgive yourself, it opens the bandwidth because now you're not seeing a disconnection between you and the higher self. Well, I still need to improve. There's still things that I need to go on. That time that I messed up with that, and she's never forgiven me for that. And no, what we're talking about is all what that's doing is unharmonizing you from what you truly are. And then you're accepting the story that keeps being changed by external. I mean, this is nuts. It's like you could keep, that's why they call it a black hole. Because basically you just keep sucking yourself down deeper with your own judgments against yourself. This is called aging. This is called all those things. Even that whole aspect that we must degenerate is all part of our consciousness, but it does not mean that we don't need to do things that resonate life. You can't think your way into life. It's a resonance. So eating, yes, things like it's as simple as eating sprouts. Like they're nasty to some people, but it's like everything that is good, everything that you need to do is not necessarily going to be pleasuring or taste good for you. Okay. But if you like quick routes, like thinking about all the stuff that you have, and that's why I say, we got to have tools. We're drilling in specific situations. For a person that's living somewhere, there's not a lot of sun. There's not a lot of organic markets. Organic food is very expensive. These kind of scenarios, which are actually more rampant than we think, sprouting is the best because sprouting doesn't actually take needing even a lot of sun. It just needs light. Those are live enzymes. It's not expensive. It's basically boils down to trays and seeds. You can buy tons of seeds. You can buy the best seeds. You can buy heirloom seeds. And you can buy all these seeds for so cheap, and it makes so much sprouts. Now, you may be a sprout-eating guy for a while, but the entire body can take itself through a metamorphosis with sprouts because it has the proper enzymes to do that. Now, if you want to go do that another way, it may be a lot more costly. It may be a lot more cumbersome. There are other ways, but I always talk about, like we used to call it the poor man's guide to ascension. But it's like there's ways to go through everything. Like even with the whole money thing, cryptocurrency is now available. If I found myself in a negative position with money, I would go mine from the library's computer. I would figure there's ways in everything. We just have to now, come out of our shells and say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be a victim anymore. I'm going to be a survivor. But a war has gone on. So I'm not going to be callous. I think it's a bit callous to like act like everyone's had a great life. There's untold atrocities really that have happened. So we just have to move on from here. So that's just in respect and recognition for other things, because some people could get the impression that, maybe me and you have had these great lives and never had any problems. And so we can't speak from where they come from because they've been through X, Y, Z. And, I've been through quite a few different things, but we should all understand that we have gone through something and now we're coming out. The best thing is for us to let ourselves go through that process, and that's what's happening. So, we're all available for each other. Like I said, even if somebody's going off on you, you're available for them. Everyone seems to be a master at something, even if it's just pissing you off. And that's what we're dealing with as far as this morphogenic field. There's tons of stuff that's available. Anyone listening to this conversation has access to the internet. That's enough knowledge and wisdom right there to take a person decades to go through. So there's that last part, which is what some will call gratitude, right? And appreciation, right? The power in appreciation, which I didn't understand for a while because I just was totally upset with the gods. So, there was nothing to appreciate that the gods created until I figured out the gods actually didn't create this. So that kind of led to another thing. But anyway, the appreciation is a power too, because it allows you to stay in present. Appreciation is actually the real, like if there's a lever, it's the lever to getting into being present. Because sometimes we're always looking at things as how much more we need to achieve. Like, it's like, I need to get more. I need to go here and I need to visit there. And we're processing life that way. What appreciation is sitting in the moment saying, well, look, yo, 2 hands, great. All the fingers, there's other people that don't have them. All the different things that we can go do. I can leave my house right now. I've been in situations where I wasn't even able to leave the area I was in. And so I noticed that there's a part of our consciousness, and I'll say this and I'm done. It adjusts to our environment. So when we're allowed all these options, we sometimes get depressed. because we look for more options. But if we didn't have even the options we have now, and then all of a sudden we were given those options, it would be the most amazing thing. It would feel like freedom. So this means freedom's all the time when you let yourself go. And I won't say it's easy at all, because we hold a lot. We think it has value. But when we learn to let it go, and this is like all those things that we feel like we need to be paid back, like they need to be paid back. Look at the terminology. All the terminology is just like financial system. They're going to get paid back one day. And we hold that ticket. It's like 2 years later, we're still like, they're going to get paid back one day. And this is what I'm talking about. And people don't think this stuff is really costing them, but it is. And that's as subtle as it can be, that the energetic system and our connection to it, our vibration, all of that has to do with current. And when we start managing that system, just looking at being our own customs, watching what's coming in the ports, what's coming in the ears, what's coming in the eyes, what's going in the mouth, what's going in the nose. This right here is where the customs are set up. And as long as you set up customs there, that controls what goes into your consciousness. So that's the guardians at the gate. And so that's what we get to where we can be in environments and be more, like some people can not go to the club for a while. It just would be a total regression to their total vibration. But others, they're not processing life that way anymore. They're wherever life has them, and they're always going to shine that light there. So you drop me off in the pit of hell, it will only be heaven again. It's like you have to keep connecting your mind to the beyond, which is what you truly are. So that's it. That's it.